Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Karen Kent, and today we're going to be talking about a new superhero, and his name is Element. Element is a demigod, which is half human and half god. So the gods in this universe, I sort of thought of the Olympians. I don't think I will refer to the Olympians for the main story because the Olympians have been used in Justice League movies, and I don't really want to steal characters they've used. I know Greek mythology is like a real life thing that people talk about, so like people believe in that, and like it wasn't just it wasn't DC's main idea. They didn't create it. Neither did Marvel. I think Marvel uses them. I'm not sure. I think they have Hercules, which I believe is an Olympian. I'm not sure. I sort of just want to kind of go original with those, so I'm gonna refer to him as the Guardians of Elements. Before Element was born, he had a father who was the god of elements. He controlled all the elements, and eventually, once he wound up on Earth, and he met a pretty woman, and he loved her for who she was, married her, and they had a kid, and they named him Rick Jackson. So Rick Jackson has a sort of normal life most of his life, and then he sort of figures out that he is a demigod, which is somewhat like Percy Jackson, kind of. So the character will be different from Percy Jackson. Instead of controlling, like, Element will control water. I'm just gonna say it. Like, he'll control more than just water. So also his father decides to stay with them to raise Rick and help with his family. So doing that cost him his powers, and he was fine and willing to do that. So he still had the memory of his time with the Guardians of Elements. So he can come on to as sort of a mentor role for Element when he becomes, like, when he first figures out that he has powers. So that could really help with the character, or with his powers, which I have a lot of cool ideas for his powers. Let's just say that. So he has control of every single element in the periodic table of elements. He can control fire, lightning, earth, earth. I almost said rock afterwards, and air. He can control everything. So he could do stuff like blast fire from his hands, fireballs, electric sparks. Like, he can, like, fire lightning, kind of like in Star Wars. He can breathe underwater. He can create a tidal wave. He can launch rocks at you. Can create tornadoes. He has a lot of abilities. Like, for example, someone has their hand on something, and Element has fire coming from his hand, and he, like, puts it on it. It can burn them. If someone runs up to him and he's, like, on a puddle of water, that will send electricity coming towards the person and zapping them. If he has his hands on, like, rails, like a stairway rail that's, like, metal, it will create an electric shock all the way through, and it could zap whoever else is holding onto that rail. He could charge someone's phone. That was just a funny idea. But he essentially has a lot of powers. Like, a lot he can do with his powers. A lot of attention to detail. I know that's something I love, and I want that to be prevalent in the universe. So I think it's realistic, and it can enjoyable. Like, I know a person who can control elements, what I don't believe would exist. like a human being that could do that, but like it would make sense. Like elements like the physics of it would make sense for the character. Like lightning goes through metal. Yeah, like electricity goes through metal. So like that attention to detail makes sense, and I like the idea a lot. So he has a lot of cool powers, and I'm gonna be talking about one thing that like helps him with his powers, or is in. I'll talk about that in a few more minutes. So, the villains I would have for him are mostly God based. I was thinking like if I did a movie, a fallen god who wants to sort of regain his power and control the guardians of elements. So he would have someone like they would have it have element be set to rule or control the guardians of elements to lead them. But then there's a fallen god who's going to oppose him and try to fight him. So that idea could work for a movie. And the bad guy would want to take control of that throne and the people in it. So that idea could definitely work. So, like I said, so in terms of a story, so obviously in his first movie, which I hope will happen, well, I can make happen, he will figure out that he is a demigod. His father mentors him. He goes to the Guardians of Elements and learns about the fallen gods, which are basically like angels fallen from grace, pretty much. Like they've become bad. So that could be a good idea for a movie. And I was thinking like eventually in the future he would do something which is like very out there pretty much. So if you guys know what constellations are, they are stars that connect and make something. I thought I could do something fun with this idea and sort of create, like, make them somewhat, like, make the constellations kind of like titans, sort of. But they're like fallen titans, and their stars rest upon in the sky. That's just an idea I've had, and constellations are sort of like they are referred to, like, for example, my symbol is a Taurus, which is like late April, early May. So, that would also incorporate birthstones. Like mine is an emerald. Like everyone has different birthstones and a different. So I can't think of the correct term. I think it's called celestial sign, which would be like Leo, Cancer, Taurus, Aries, basically those types of ideas, and incorporating that, like incorporating the constellations, incorporating birthstones, incorporating elements, I think that could lead to a way for Element to get a battle axe, kind of like Stormbreaker, but it's its own thing. It like makes him twice as powerful, which will help him in majorly. I was thinking Element will have elemental weapons, but like they're sort of symbolic for what they're meant for, like swords of fire, staff of sparks. That I can come up with better names than that. It's just ideas at the top of my head, but a full-on battle axe for elements. So imagine he just flies down, and then like takes this axe and like he hits it to the ground. And, like, for example, think of a field, and he like hits it, and it like sends basically earth, like a lot of ground and rocks, hurtling towards someone. That would be so powerful. he could somewhat do that without the weapon, without the axe. But the I feel the axe could help double the damage and make it more critical. So he would be a extremely heavy hitter in the universe. He would probably be one of the most powerful characters in this universe. Not the most powerful, but one of the most powerful. Um, let's see, so he controls elements, and eventually he would go on to lead the Guardians of Elements. So my idea for this character seems straightforward, but there's also a lot to go with the character. There's a lot I could explore with him, like who he was before he became Element. Like that wouldn't be the main focus, but like it'd be like god based threats, like extremely like cosmic level threats. He could be able to stand his own against them, like explore more about them. I think that would be very cool. Like there's a lot I could do with this character, and I would be excited to put that on the big screen and inside movies and potential sequels. There's a lot I could do with this character, and I think people would enjoy. I enjoy thinking about this character. There's a lot more I could do. Like I want to try to develop a more better villain than like I didn't explain much about a villain because I don't personally have a particular villain name or title for him. So like my idea for a movie, he would be a fallen god who would want to take the throne. Like it seems simple. So and also this just came into my head. I want to explain a lot in more lore behind the character. So this I meant to talk about this earlier, but I forgot to think about it. So there would be like people of old that are based on the elements. So I thought of this kind of like Aquaman, sort of. Like there are people who live underwater or like something like that, and then there are like people who live in the clouds. These are like sort of ideas that I have. Doesn't mean these ideas would happen. Like there would be people living amongst the elements that people could look after. That may be a far-fetched idea. I don't think it may work because like Element could live like he's still able to be on Earth and fight crime. Like he does deal more with the cosmic level enemies instead of just like crime fighting crime like thugs or anything. Like he could still deal with them, but like he would probably have like more powerful people than that to face off and deal with. Like Defender or Nomad, who I talked about yesterday, go check that out. They would probably deal with more with like on the ground threats, and obviously eventually they would probably deal with more cosmic level villains. It's not by themselves, obviously. I don't think they would both stand a huge chance against them by themselves, personally. But with a team, I think they could. And Element is a teammate I would love to see among a team like that of people trying to take down cosmic villains. And so, like there are the Titans that I could explore more of. Like there's a specific group of Titans I want to talk about in the future that I have come up with. That'll be in a future video, so stay tuned for that. So like there could be villainous Titans out there that Element can deal with. There are a lot of villains I could do with Element that are like extremely powerful, cosmic, dangerous, danger to the world, danger to the galaxy. There's a lot to do with this character. I think he would be a very fun character to have on a movie. I would enjoy having him ride like on a joyride with these characters. I would want him to make it throughout this universe. He is a cool character. He is a powerful character. So there is a lot of lore to this character, which I would love to show you guys in a movie, like a high budget movie. So, if you guys like the idea of Element, comment down below what you do like, and if there's something you don't care for or you think could use some work, definitely comment that down below. Oh, that could help build up the character and flesh him out more. Comment some ideas for a potential plot that could work for him. Some ideas. So, again, I appreciate the views you guys get, because these videos mean a lot to me. Like, I enjoy talking about my creations. That these have been going on since I was young. So I'm very happy with these characters that I'm coming up with, like that I've come up with. There's still more to do. So I hope you guys stay tuned for the future characters. Tomorrow I will be talking about another superhero who is almost as powerful as Element. So stay tuned, and if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have piqued more interest in my content, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to make sure that you guys see my content, hit the bell icon to turn on notifications so you guys can see whenever I upload. Alright. Have a good day, guys.